Story 1. The Abyss Beckons. It was an ordinary day in the small town where Ted, a young and adventurous spelunker, resided. His passion for exploring the unknown led him to the discovery of an uncharted cave system rumored to be the gateway to the underworld itself. Intrigued by the mystery that surrounded the cavern's depths, Ted gathered his gear, including his trusty flashlight, ropes, and a digital camera, and embarked on a journey that would forever haunt his nightmares. The cave entrance, hidden in the dense woods, exuded an ominous aura. Undeterred, Ted entered, feeling a chill run down his spine as the darkness enveloped him. The narrow passages twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the bowels of the earth. As he descended, the air grew colder, and the once faint echoes of dripping water evolved into eerie whispers that seemed to reverberate from the very walls of the cave. Ted's camera captured the stalactites and stalagmites that adorned the cavern's walls, their jagged formations casting grotesque shadows. He pressed on, eager to unravel the secrets that lay hidden within the subterranean labyrinth. The cave seemed to respond to his presence, as if the very earth beneath him were alive and aware. Days turned into nights, and Ted's excitement turned to trepidation as he encountered strange markings on the cave walls, symbols that hinted at a civilization long forgotten. Undeterred, he pressed forward, his curiosity overpowering the growing sense of dread that clung to him like a second skin. One fateful night, deep within the heart of the cave, Ted discovered a cavernous chamber that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. In the center, an ominous hole beckoned at him, its depths shrouded in impenetrable darkness. With a mix of fear and fascination, Ted rappelled into the abyss, his flashlight revealing an ancient network of tunnels that stretched in all directions. As Ted delved further into the cavern's depths, he felt an unseen presence watching him, a malevolent force that seemed to awaken with every step he took. Strange occurrences plagued him, his equipment malfunctioned, and the whispers that once echoed softly grew into tormented wails that echoed through the tunnels. Days turned into weeks, and Ted's mental state deteriorated. Sleep eluded him, and the cave seemed to morph into a nightmarish realm, filled with grotesque figures that lurked in the shadows. Desperation took hold as he realized he was lost in a subterranean maze, the passages shifting and rearranging themselves with each turn. The once enthusiastic explorer was now a shell of his former self, haunted by the unseen horrors that lurked in the darkness. The cave seemed to feed off his fear, manifesting his deepest nightmares in the shadows that danced along the walls. One day, Ted stumbled upon an ancient chamber adorned with eerie carvings that depicted grotesque creatures and ritualistic scenes. As he deciphered the symbols, a chilling realization dawned upon him. The cave was a gateway to a realm beyond human comprehension, a dimension where malevolent entities awaited their chance to cross over. Terrified and desperate to escape, Ted retraced his steps, his every movement echoing through the cavern like a death knell. The once familiar passages now twisted and distorted, mocking his feeble attempts to find an exit. His flashlight flickered, casting long, distorted shadows that seemed to reach out for him. In the suffocating darkness, Ted's sanity teetered on the brink. The cave became a living entity, manipulating reality itself to torment its intruder. Whispers turned into guttural growls, and the walls seemed to close in on him, threatening to swallow him whole. As Ted stumbled through the never-ending labyrinth, he heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps behind him. Panic set in as he realized he was not alone. The shadows coalesced into grotesque figures, their twisted forms moving in tandem with his every step. They whispered in an ancient tongue, their voices a cacophony of torment that reverberated through the cavern. Days turned into an indistinguishable blur as Ted desperately sought an exit, his mind unraveling with each passing moment. He encountered spectral apparitions that beckoned him into the abyss, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly malevolence. The line between reality and delusion blurred as the cave played cruel tricks on his sanity. As Ted's strength waned, he stumbled upon an ancient altar, its surface etched with symbols that seemed to writhe and pulsate. Desperation overcame him, and in a fit of madness he uttered an incantation unwittingly. The very fabric of reality seemed to shudder as the cave responded to his words. In that moment of forbidden invocation, the boundary between worlds shattered. Unearthly screams echoed through the cavern as monstrous entities clawed their way into our reality. Ted, now a broken and defeated soul, witnessed the horrors he had unleashed. Story 2. Ted's Final Descent. Ted, an experienced spelunker with an insatiable curiosity, found himself drawn to a new cave system rumored to be cursed. Undeterred by the warnings of locals, he assembled his gear and embarked on a journey that would plunge him into a nightmarish abyss. The cave entrance yawned before him, an ominous gateway framed by jagged rocks. Ignoring the chill that crawled up his spine, Ted descended into the shadows with his flashlight, cutting through the darkness like a feeble beacon. The damp walls seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy, and the air echoed with distant whispers that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. The first few days were uneventful, with Ted documenting the cave's intricate formations and marveling at the beauty hidden beneath the earth. However, as he delved deeper, a sense of unease settled in. The tunnels began to twist and turn unpredictably, disorienting him and leaving him with a creeping feeling that the cave itself was alive and malevolent. One evening, Ted discovered a chamber adorned with cryptic symbols. The air grew thick with an otherworldly tension as he deciphered the markings, realizing they spoke of an ancient ritual meant to awaken dormant entities. Ignoring the warning signs, Ted pressed on, convinced he could unravel the mysteries hidden within the subterranean labyrinth. As Ted descended further, the whispers grew louder, forming eerie melodies that seemed to resonate with the pulse of the cave. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on grotesque shapes that mocked his presence. Unseen hands seemed to brush against his skin, leaving a cold, lingering sensation. Sleep became a rare commodity for Ted as nightmares bled into his waking hours. The cave seemed to feed on his fear, distorting reality and blurring the line between dream and waking nightmare. He questioned his own sanity as the walls closed in on him, their contours shifting like a living, breathing entity. One day, Ted stumbled upon a colossal cavern, its depths obscured by an impenetrable darkness. Determined to conquer the abyss, he rigged his ropes and descended into the unknown. The moment his feet touched the unseen floor, an otherworldly force seized him. The cave's very essence seemed to wrap around him, suffocating and malevolent. In the heart of the abyss, Ted encountered a spectral presence, a manifestation of the cave's dark history. The entity spoke in ancient tongues, recounting tales of lost souls and forbidden knowledge. It offered Ted a choice: embrace the darkness and become a vessel for its insatiable hunger, or face a fate worse than death. Haunted by the shadows that clung to him, Ted hesitated. The cave, sensing his inner turmoil, unleashed a cacophony of wails and tormented whispers. Desperation gripped Ted as he realized he had become entangled in a cosmic game where the odds were stacked against him. As Ted grappled with his decision, the cave convulsed with a malevolent energy. The very ground beneath him quivered, threatening to consume him whole. Shadows coalesced into nightmarish forms, reaching out for him with ethereal fingers. The air grew thick with an oppressive darkness that seemed to seep into his very soul. In a moment of clarity, Ted severed the ties that bound him to the abyss. The entity howled in anguish as the cave rejected its would-be vessel. The walls trembled, and the symbols etched into the stones writhed in agony. Ted, battered and broken, ascended the ropes, leaving the darkness behind. The moment Ted emerged into the daylight, the cave sealed itself, as if erasing all evidence of the horrors that transpired within. The once cursed cavern became a mere memory, a legend whispered among locals who spoke of a brave soul who faced the abyss and emerged forever changed. Ted, scarred by his harrowing ordeal, carried the echoes of the abyss within him. The nightmares persisted, and the shadows that clung to him became a constant reminder of the fine line between curiosity and madness. The cave had claimed its toll, leaving Ted forever haunted by the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the earth. Story 3. Beneath the Veil of Shadows. The town of Ravenscroft, nestled in the shadow of an ancient mountain range, held a secret that whispered through the valley. A cavern untouched by the light of day, said to be the doorway to forgotten realms. Ted, a seasoned caver, drawn by the allure of the unknown, set out to explore the cryptic depths of the Raven's Maw. The cave's entrance, concealed within the gnarled roots of an ancient oak, beckoned Ted with an eerie silence. Armed with his equipment and an unyielding curiosity, he descended into the subterranean realm, the oppressive darkness swallowing him whole. The air grew stale, and the usual symphony of cave sounds was replaced by an unsettling quiet. Days turned into weeks as Ted navigated the labyrinthine passages, documenting the otherworldly formations that adorned the walls. It was not long before he stumbled upon an expansive chamber, its vastness extending beyond the reach of his flashlight. The walls bore markings etched in an ancient script, a language that seemed to hum with a latent power. Driven by an insatiable desire to unravel the mysteries of the Raven's Maw, Ted deciphered the cryptic symbols. Unbeknownst to him, his actions triggered an arcane resonance within the cave, awakening a dormant force that slumbered for centuries. The shadows, once docile, stirred with an unsettling energy, as if the very essence of the cave had come alive. As Ted descended deeper, the walls began to breathe, pulsating with a rhythmic cadence that echoed through the chambers. The whispers returned, now more insistent, weaving through the air like spectral tendrils. Shadows clung to the periphery of his vision, morphing into elusive forms that retreated whenever he turned to confront them. Night after night, Ted's dreams became intertwined with the cave's ancient history. He saw glimpses of a bygone era where rituals were performed and unspeakable entities were unleashed upon the world. A spectral figure cloaked in darkness beckoned him further into the abyss, its hollow eyes promising forbidden knowledge. The line between reality and nightmare blurred for Ted. The cave's influence seeped into his very soul, eroding the boundaries of his sanity. The once sturdy explorer became a mere puppet, compelled by an unseen force to delve deeper into the heart of the Raven's Maw. In a moment of clarity, Ted stumbled upon a chamber unlike any other, a nexus of swirling shadows and ethereal whispers. The veil between worlds was thin here, and a voice echoed through the darkness, offering a choice. Embrace the abyss and become one with the shadows, or resist and face the inevitable descent into madness. Torn between the allure of forbidden knowledge and the flickering embers of his humanity, Ted hesitated. The cave, sensing his internal struggle, intensified its assault on his senses. The shadows coalesced into phantasmal entities that clawed at him, urging him to surrender to the abyss. In a desperate act of defiance, Ted chose to sever the ties that bound him to the Raven's Maw. The cave convulsed with a deafening roar, and the shadows recoiled in agony. As Ted ascended, the oppressive silence gave way to the familiar sounds of dripping water and the distant echoes of the cave's depths. Emerging into the cool embrace of the mountain air, Ted felt the weight of the darkness he left behind. The Raven's Maw sealed itself, its secrets hidden once more beneath the earth. The town of Ravenscroft remained unaware of the silent battle fought beneath their feet, and Ted, forever changed, carried the echoes of the cave within him. Haunted by the knowledge that some mysteries were better left untouched, Ted wandered into the fading twilight, the shadows trailing behind him like tattered remnants of a nightmare. The Raven's Maw, now a dormant enigma, cast its silent watch over the valley, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to heed its call into the depths of the unknown.